A very good day to you. I'm Hank Gross, MidHudsonNews.com. It's Monday, September 19th. The news today brought to you by the Galleria at Crystal Run. St. Andrew's Ukrainian Catholic Church in Campbell Hall yesterday held its annual festival to celebrate the heritage of parishioners. While there were Ukrainian delicacies, singing, dancing, and games for the kids, the day was all about support for their homeland as Vladimir Putin's Russia continues its invasion. Anita Machuk arrived from Ukraine just 2 days before the festival, and she was visibly shaken by the war and its effects on her country.
Українська земля, яка переповнена такими чудовими людьми, гинуть молоді люди, хлопці.
There are great people there, and our brave young men are fighting for the country, and it's a very sad situation, but there's bravery on the front and in the rest of the country.
The spiritual leader of the church, the Very Reverend Father Yaroslav Kostik, said Putin is evil, plain and simple.
This is what evil is. We have to know what evil, he doesn't have mercy. He doesn't know what to do except to do dark things.
Father Kostik's congregation has been contributing to the Ukrainian cause on a regular basis since the invasion began. The war that heals in Middletown through yesterday afternoon brought back memories of his survival in the hell of Vietnam as Colonel Chet Edwards recounted his one-year tour of duty in the Navy during the late 1960s. Edwards was the keynote speaker at a ceremony at the Traveling Wall on Saturday, and he paid homage to the 58,281 service members who died in the conflict.
They say everyone dies twice. One time when you stop breathing, and a second time a bit later on when somebody says your name for the last time. Thanks to the wall in Washington, the wall that heals, and to those of you who are instrumental in bringing it here this week, these men and women will never die a second and last time.
This was the first time in 50 years that Edwards, a Westchester resident, spoke of what his comrades and he endured while serving in Vietnam. The family of young Brittany Hendershot of Port Jervis, who sought answers as to her whereabouts through most of the summer, is still seeking answers about her death. Beginning with the first days of summer in June through the middle of August, Brittany remained missing week after week. On August 15th, her remains were discovered in a wooded area in the town of Wallkill. While this brought painful answers about Brittany's physical location, painful questions remain for the family. Crystal and Lee Hendershot, Brittany's parents, learned in August that their 21-year-old daughter was found dead. They continue to seek answers as to how the young woman, who gave birth to her first child on Mother's Day this year, died and why. They and others close to Brittany are seeking justice that they say needs to come. More news right after this.
Find over 100 retailers allowing you to spend hours shopping safely at the Galleria at Crystal Run. Enjoy the big brands and the diverse selection of family-owned stores all in one location. The Galleria at Crystal Run offers dining options for everyone with Fuji 110 Grill, Allen's Mediterranean Grill, and Peru Cuisine. Discover the Mid-Hudson Valley's premier shopping, dining, and entertainment destination, the Galleria at Crystal Run. For more information, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or visit GalleriaCrystalRun.com.
The State Department of Health and Centers for Disease Control, at the request of the Ulster County Department of Health, tested 2 weeks of sample wastewater taken from Kingston and New Paltz, and the results were negative for poliovirus. Poliovirus testing will now continue to be a regular part of the wastewater surveillance in Kingston and New Paltz. Acting Ulster Executive Johanna Contreras said polio is preventable through a safe and effective vaccination, and she strongly encourages all residents who are not vaccinated for polio to call their doctor and get vaccinated without delay. County Health Commissioner Dr. Carol Smith said polio is a highly contagious disease that was thought to have been controlled through the administration of a very safe and effective and proven vaccine. This is why she says the polio vaccine has been mandatory for all students attending public schools in New York State for decades. The new Emergency Operations Center and Firehouse in New Paltz was celebrated over the weekend. During Hurricane Irene and Tropical Storm Lee, New Paltz was overwhelmed by nearly 10 inches of rain, causing widespread flooding. The Wallkill River overflowed its banks and flooded roads, stranded residents and destroyed acres of farms, and slowed first responders. The two firehouses, one that was undersized and another that was not easily accessible due to narrow and crowded roads, made it challenging to meet the community's needs. The new center replaces both firehouses with one large emergency operations center and the municipal fire department at 117 Henry Du Bois Drive. Hundreds turned out on Saturday to celebrate dual anniversaries, the 250th of the town of Wallkill and the 30th for the Galleria at Crystal Run. Town officials, both past and present, were honored. Retired State Supreme Court Justice Joseph Owen recounted the development in the municipality, which began to see its first growth spurt in the 1950s and 60s.
It was a hard chore to try to equalize development with maintaining the natural resources and the environments of our town. Let's continue with proper planning and make sure that we continue this town in the right direction for the next 250 years for all the generations that are to come.
Local officials touted the Galleria as the economic engine of Wallkill, which has continued to re-envision in the changing retail world. The Chabad centers in Monroe and Poughkeepsie held ribbon-cutting ceremonies on new buildings yesterday. In Monroe, the Chabad Center of Orange County cut the ribbon on its new center with spiritual leader Rabbi Pesach Burston and Mrs. Hannah Burston present. I'm Hank Gross, MidHudsonNews.com. The news today brought to you by the Galleria at Crystal Run.